For me, what I would like to see coming out of all this is a legacy where we have injected some humanity back into the society in which we live, where we say, you will not treat people like this and get away with it. You compounded their grief. You tortured survivors, many of whom committed suicide because of the things you wrote about them, the things you said about them. You cannot do that again. No one, having faced a disaster and loss, should have to wait 27 years for any kind of decision. And let's face it, all we've got is an inquest verdict decision. No one has been held accountable. All we've got really is a cause of death, unlawful killing. I'm not trying to minimise that because it's huge, but still no one has been held accountable for it, and that has to happen. How it happens might be any number of ways. For me personally, I don't particularly want to see individuals go to prison, but that's me. I'm a bit soft when it comes down to it. I see it's the police at an organisational level that needs to be held accountable. We called the other day for the Chief Constable of South Yorkshire to resign with immediate effect. He didn't. Instead of which the Police Commissioner suspended him. What a half-hearted attempt at dealing with the situation. This officer is going anyway in December or January. He will never come back to work. Why wasn't he sacked if he wouldn't resign? We also called on all those senior officers that retired early on grounds of ill health to have their pensions withdrawn immediately. And we called on them, which was a bit of a long shot, to repay the pensions they've received to date. And let me just remind people that Norman Bettison, having been Chief Constable of Merseyside, receives his pension from Merseyside. People like me are paying him, and that really rankles and offends us deeply. So we're not going away, because we've still got survivors who need help from our campaign. We look at in terms of, we help them with psychological treatments. People are still terribly traumatised. What I suspected would happen, did happen. By Wednesday, I was receiving phone calls in the short term, maybe from people I knew, saying that family members who are survivors had reacted terribly from Tuesday. They were either very angry or very depressed and wouldn't speak. That will be multiplied. Multiply that by the number of people in a football ground. It gives you some idea of the situation. And all I would say is, when I saw that crowd of people outside St George's Hall the other night, it was inspiring to see so many people out on the streets again. I've never seen that many people on the streets since 2012 when the Hillsborough Independent Panel reported. Before that, I'd only seen it in the 80s in Liverpool when we were all out and we could get that number of people out. I flew back from Dublin. I'd been in Dublin last weekend, where it is easier to get people out on the street, and it was so wonderful to be a part of that. I stood listening to James Connolly's grandson speak, and so I came back fired up anyway. I don't want to lose that fire in me. I never want to lose it. What we here, those of us who are politicised, have to think is, how can we get people back on the streets in such volumes as we can get them out for a football-related matter in this city? It would be the same in Manchester, because that's what we need to do. I work for a union. I can't get people out like that when I'm trying to, even the bedroom tax, when we were getting good numbers, we couldn't get them out like that. And I would like to just say that the politicians never did us any favours over the years with Hillsborough, but the unions did, 2 unions in particular, and I'm not just saying it because they're here, but the FBU and PCS were amazing in giving us support through dark years, allowing us a platform at their conferences, etc., and fundraising for us. So I would like to thank them, and they're back in good stead. I won't leave it with you, but I would just like to say that, I do think that, hopefully what we have shown is a little bit of hope that you can keep chipping away, and I hope that what we've done inspires confidence in other people with campaigns that aren't as developed, but also as well, let's bring some humanity back into our society. Thank you.